Are you ready?
Hmm?
Are you ready? Yeah.
Then yes.
You look nervous.
I was you about to ask me something.
Alright, are you ready?
Yeah.
Women already posed though.
You gotta have style and grace.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright.
Alright. Okay. Let's do this.
I'm ready. Give me a second. I'm busy.
Just focus this real quick. Alright. Ready?
Alright, very cool.
So that's what, like, you know, in a nutshell, what a hipster is.
Okay, very cool.
So are you ready?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Okay. Alright, are you ready?
Tell me a question first so I can prepare myself.
They're just questions
I'll be
like,
like,
they're just like questions about like hipsters and stuff.
Hipsters.
Yeah.
Roll on the floor again.
No, because what happened was like, you know,
Nope,
the
I don't
little,
wanna hear it.
like, edge thing.
Alright, so y'all ready?
Yeah.
You got a what?
My
Alright, and action. Alright, it's the first segment of, I don't even know what to call it.
senior project interview.
I want to call it that, that's lame.
It is lame, but it's the first segment of we truly define what hipsters are to our society.
Alright, I'm gonna call it,
That's what we do.
hipsters in society.
Hipsters in society.
Yeah, hipsters in society.
Um,
Nah, I don't even like that, cause like it's gonna make y'all sound all like that y'all supposed to be hipsters.
hipsters in society or
Alright, I got this. It's gonna be called Breakdown of a Hipster.
A hipster is someone who's like up with fashion, kind of, sort of.
I feel like they're a little bit more like into stuff, like they actually, you know, try to dress up and look nicer than most people and do their thing.
A hipster, from my understanding from you, Dana, is a person who is looking to make some sort of social change. Kind of came off of, started with like, you know, I think they were like from the jazz movement, and then moved into the beatnik movement, to the hippies, and now they're currently considered hipsters, but just looking to make a social change in the world.
A hipster to me is someone who doesn't follow like trends and stuff. They have their own way and they're rebellious without trying to be rebellious, if you know what I mean.
Okay. What do you think, Corbin?
A hipster to me is a modern day hippie.
DeQuayla?
A hipster to me is, they just do their own thing. They're not worried about what society thinks or says or anything for that matter. They're like the complete opposite of society.
hipsters are not just a fad. Hipsters are going to be here until 2005.
No, I don't. Especially since there's such a large history that has to do with it. And I think any group of people that comes together to make some sort of social change is so important. So I think the name may change, but the game never will, if you will.
No, I mean, I don't believe being a hipster will ever, like, you know, not be a thing. You know, usually fads last like a week or a month. Like, get silly bands. Who wears silly bands anymore? No, but hipsters will always be here.
For a girl, I think like high-waisted pants, maybe something I'm wearing with like a collar underneath the shirt, or like a plaid cover-up.
Whatever they want. I wear hipsters do whatever they want to, because they hipsters. Everybody knows that.
You can't really summarize how hipsters dress in one generalization, because it's more of like everybody has their own unique style, everyone has their own taste.
Stereotype is that they wear like flannels and they carry like cool cameras, but honestly, I don't really, you know, think there's a standard for what they dress like.
I'm different, yeah, I'm different, I'm different, yeah.
No, I don't think so. I think that every human, if they're if they're truly living, realizes that there are social needs in our world. So I think that hipsters are just coming out and addressing them. And so many of us live, but we're like, my dad used to refer to people as the walking dead. You kind of go through life and you go through emotions. And I feel like hipsters are just, they're people who realize that there are issues in life and they want to really face them head on, bring it to light for other people and make a change.
I guess it's on purpose, because they don't want to be like everybody else, but then again, it's not on purpose, because that's just them, that's just what they do.
I feel like if you're trying to be a hipster, then you're not even a hipster. Like, hipsters are effortlessly interesting.
Okay.
I think you can be different on purpose. So I do think there is different on purpose. I think you have to be comfortable.
I mean, y'all can disagree.
I think when you're around the people who think the same, that you think differently than them, you purposely think differently than them.
One for the money, two for the tummy, cocaine bundles, he trafficking for me.
Half horn rimmed eyeglasses,
So specific.
Oxfords, film cameras, and Wes Anderson movies.
I feel like just haircuts. They get different haircuts.
You gotta rock bucket hats. You gotta have at least one pair of Vans. You gotta have skinny jeans. Button-ups are a must. Plaid button-ups are a must. You gotta be on point.
Originality. Rebelliousness. Is that a word? A flannel. Like some chucks, beat up and old and disgusting looking.
Photographer.
Videographer. Anything to do with arts like that.
Well, anyone could be, anything they wanted to be and be like a hipster behind the scenes. So anyone could have any career. I think of maybe someone who's very passionate about nature, photographer, stuff like that.
Freelance photographer. Barista, but not at Starbucks.
Hippies, they were, oh man. Now it's hipsters trying to be hippies, but hippies, they were trying to be with the earth. That's all they wanted to be, close to the Mother Earth. That's all they wanted. Hipsters.
Hipsties.
Yeah, hipsters that want to be hippies. Those are people that saw that. Oh man, that's so cool. I want to be about that life. You ain't trying. You ain't doing the. They didn't do the education. They just saw it and they thought it was cool. Hipsters, they don't want to be closer to the earth. Some of them act like they care. Oh man, I want to be part of that cause because they want to be that individual that everybody's like, man, what are you talking about? I don't care about your cause, but then it's like people that's like, I want to be part of it. Come on, man.
Oh yeah, I see a huge correlation between hipsters and hippies, and it's just the idea that you want to make a change, and we have this beautiful government that has everything in place to really make large social changes, and I think masses of people like hippies and now hipsters realize, wait a minute, there's a lot of funds, there's a lot of people that are walking around Capitol Hill who aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing, which is providing for the people and making the changes.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of right now is their sense of rebellion. Yes, I think hipsters are like a modern day hippie. So I think that hippies back then, they were like comfortable being at peace, being themselves, and I think hipster is just like a modern day version of that.
Okay.
I mean, there might be.
I guess it could be some, but not like the ones that we think like it's not like hippies or hipsters dressed the same. I think it's more of like and they're content with being just who they are.
I think that their cause is different. I mean, during the hippie movement, it was more about Vietnam War and government censorship sorts of things. And I think now, my understanding is the movement is more about providing for the people, like ways, how is it that we live in this great, big, beautiful, wonderful country, as my mom always refers to the United States as, and there are people who are still homeless and hungry, and kids who are living in foster care. Why, when there's so many people out there who are willing to provide and help?
So same ideologies, just different motives.
Correct.
I think now hipsters like fight for peace and within themselves or within others,
Okay.
within being different. Yeah, no, I think it's a difference because hippies, like back in the day, their whole goal was to escape, not if not physically, mentally. That's why they did all the drugs that they did.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that hipsters nowadays, well, back then they were like ruthless, like they would walk around like not caring at all. They didn't shave, they didn't put on deodorant or nothing. But now hipsters are more reserved, they more censored.
I like fashion, hipster fashion, so I think they contribute fashion.
It has some flair to society. Society would be bland without hipsters.
They make everything less uniform.
What kind of love just stays the same?
Yes, every day. They want to be, it's me, guys. I'm an individual. They want to be that kid. They either want to be that kid that sits quiet in the corner and reads with the glasses, or they want to be that kid that likes to dress weird. Like he tries too hard as far as he's not wearing the weird stuff right. Or there's always that one kid that he just, whenever he purposefully disagrees with everything somebody says. Like, no, that's not right. I believe this. And it's like, you're being a hipster, man. You're trying too hard. I'm not saying go with the flow and all that, but like, do what you think is right.
Oh yeah, I think that there's always going to be imposters of some sort because they're like, oh well, he's a hipster and he dresses cool and they like his glasses and his watch sort of thing. I think that there's always going to be imposters. Just like, I mean, the same as the hippie movement. There were a lot of people, you know, I know my dad always told the stories that he had, you know, a couple of friends who were like living out, you know, by the Boston Harbor and communes, but at the same time they were getting up the next morning and putting on their shirts and ties and, you know, doing their business in Boston. So I think there's always going to be imposters of sorts, and when you're truly part of a movement, you're always part of a movement. It doesn't go away. Right. It doesn't, like, people who were hippies when my parents were growing up are hippies now. Yes, and the same thing, like, I did a lot of feminist studies and I became obsessed with that movement, and I would still consider myself part of that movement in my head.
If you find inspiration in somebody that is a hipster, then you trying to be like them is not really a bad thing.
These girls are smart, these stacks, these girls are smart.
Some people embrace it. Yeah. Some people, they like to be called hipsters. They like that feeling. He called me a hipster. All right. Then it's some hipsters that's like, I'm not a hipster, don't call me that.
I think, again, my opinion is people feel things in their hearts, and it's a real stir, and there are so many imposters to things, but I think despite what people think about the movement, if you will, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter if people say, oh, well, he or she is uppity because they're a hipster. I don't think it'll matter to that person, and I don't think that hipsters think that they're superior. However, I think that anyone willing to step out and make a change is superior in a way, because they're willing to break the mold outside of what society tells us we should do.
That for hipsters, it's not really about the titles, it's about whatever they feel is natural, whatever they feel is like their style, their preference.
I don't know all the social issues surrounding it. Do I think I'm an alternative thinker who would like to see larger social changes? Absolutely, yeah. I think I'd love to see. There was a song that always comes to my mind too. I think John Lennon wrote it. The Imagine song. Have you ever heard it? That and every single time that song like comes on or I hear it, I like pause because it really is like, imagine if we lived in a world where everybody just lived for peace and kindness. So I think in my heart, I'm a hipster. But
When I want to be, 'cause that's not cool. That's not always cool to be a hipster.
So
But
you
in
would
some
say
ways, I can be a hipster.
I don't like that word, so no.
I definitely don't think I'm a hipster at all.
no.
I just think I dress the way I dress and do my thing.
I'm kind of like everyone else where I like the trends of a hipster. I don't really know what exactly defines a hipster. I mean, I know my definition, but I don't know what everyone else considers to be a hipster. So I'm like, I'm a hipster.
I get, obviously I'm a hipster. I do take pride in being a hipster.
Okay.
Being a hipster is cool. It's a hip.
I think that we have like a hipster feel, but I don't consider myself a hipster. I'm just yours. You're just poor man. She's just so crazy. No, I don't consider myself a hipster. I agree with Corbin. Do my own thing.
Because I just think that I have a different view of the world. I'm not really into like more of like popularity or camaraderie. I'm more into like whatever is natural to me, whatever I think is beautiful, whatever I think is more valuable to me, just being a part of it.
I don't know, because the way I define it is someone who does things that they like. I do what I like, but I'm not just gonna say like I'm a